Imagine getting a job offer from a billion-dollar tech company. You open the email, your heart racing. Congratulations, they want you. You scroll down to the compensation section, and there it is. Base salary, $0. Not a typo, not a mistake. $0 per year. Instead, they're offering you equity, stock options, a piece of the company. This isn't some startup in a garage. This is happening at companies worth billions, and it's spreading faster than anyone wants to admit. I'm Alex Mercer, and I spent 7 years analyzing compensation structures at Fortune 500 companies. What I'm about to show you isn't just a trend, it's a complete restructuring of how tech companies think about paying employees. And most people have no idea it's happening. Let me show you what I found. In 2023, I started noticing something strange in job postings. Senior engineering roles at well-funded startups were listing base salaries of $0. Not low. $0. At first, I thought it was a data error, but then I saw the pattern. These weren't desperate companies. They were backed by top-tier venture capital firms. They had runway. They had revenue. But they were choosing to pay in equity instead of cash. Here's why this matters. When you take a traditional tech job, you get a base salary plus maybe some stock options. The salary is guaranteed. The stock is a bonus. But with these new offers, it's inverted. The equity is the primary compensation. Cash is the afterthought, if it exists at all. Think of it like this. Traditional tech compensation is like getting paid in dollars with a lottery ticket on the side. The new model is like getting paid entirely in lottery tickets. Except these lottery tickets are tied to the company's valuation, and valuations can go to zero. I talked to 3 engineers who took these deals. One of them worked for 18 months with no salary. His equity package was supposed to be worth $300,000 on paper. When the company raised their Series B, the valuation dropped. His equity was suddenly worth $80,000. He made the equivalent of $4,400 per month for a year and a half of work, below minimum wage for his skill level. Another engineer saw the opposite. Her company hit product market fit 6 months after she joined. Her $0 salary that turned into a $2 million payout when they got acquired. She made more in 2 years than she would have in 10 at a traditional company. Same model, wildly different outcomes. And here's the thing most people don't understand. These offers aren't just for senior engineers anymore. I'm seeing them for product managers, designers, even entry-level roles. So why are companies doing this? The obvious answer is cash preservation. If you don't pay salaries, you extend your runway. You can go longer before raising another funding round. But there's a darker reason. It shifts all the risk onto the employee. Think about it from the company's perspective. Every employee on a $0 salary package is essentially an investor. They're betting their time and expertise on the company's success. But unlike real investors, they don't get the same protections. They don't get preferred shares. They don't get liquidation preferences. They get common stock options with a 4-year vesting schedule and a 1-year cliff. If the company fails in year 1, they get nothing. If they leave before the cliff, they get nothing. If the company gets acquired below a certain valuation, they get nothing. Here's the really clever part. By paying in equity instead of cash, companies can make offers that sound enormous on paper. We're offering you $500,000 in equity. That sounds incredible. Until you realize that $500,000 is the theoretical value if the company hits its projected valuation in 4 years. It's not real money yet. It might never be real money, but it gets people in the door. I reviewed 50 of these equity-only offers. The average paper value was $380,000. The average actual payout after 3 years? $47,000. An 87% gap between promise and reality. And here's what nobody tells you. When you take one of these jobs, you're not just risking your compensation. You're risking your career progression. Because if the company fails, you've got a gap on your resume. You've got no savings, and you're competing against people who spent the same time building wealth at traditional companies. Let me be clear. I'm not saying all equity compensation is bad. Equity can be life-changing when it works. But when it's your only compensation, you're taking on investor-level risk without investor-level returns. And most people don't realize that until it's too late. So how do you know if an equity-only offer is worth it? Here are the red flags I learned to spot. Red flag number 1, no clear path to liquidity. If the company can't explain when and how you'll actually convert equity to cash, walk away. Equity that never becomes liquid is worthless. Red flag number 2, aggressive vesting cliffs. A standard cliff is 1 year. If they're asking for 2 years or more before any equity vests, they're protecting themselves, not you. Red flag number 3, no financial transparency. If they won't show you the cap table, the valuation history, or the total number of shares outstanding, you're flying blind. You have no way to calculate what your equity is actually worth. Red flag number 4, the "we're like a family" pitch. When companies can't compete on cash compensation, they sell you on culture. Culture doesn't pay your rent. Red flag number 5, they're hiring aggressively despite no revenue. If they're bringing on 50 people with 0 salary offers but have no clear revenue model, they're burning through investor capital. And when that runs out, your equity becomes worthless. I've seen this pattern destroy people's finances. One designer I interviewed took a 0 salary role at a hot AI startup. 18 months later, the company shut down. She had burned through her savings. She had no recent paid experience to show for it, and she was starting over from scratch. That's the real cost of these offers. The answers matter. You don't have to choose between stability and upside. The best tech compensation packages combine guaranteed cash with meaningful equity. Base salary covers your life. Equity gives you the upside. If a company can't offer both, ask yourself why. Are they cash constrained because they're not generating revenue? Are they overvalued and trying to avoid down rounds? Are they trying to exploit people who don't understand equity compensation? Because your career isn't just about one job. It's about building wealth over time. And wealth comes from making smart bets, not desperate ones. If you're trying to navigate offers like this and figure out what's actually worth your time, I built something that might help. The AI Career Survival Kit breaks down exactly how to evaluate tech compensation packages, including equity offers. It's got a framework for calculating real equity value versus paper value. I'm Alex Mercer. Thanks for watching. Link is in the description. It's $47, and it could save you from making a $200,000 mistake. Look, I'm not here to tell you never to take equity compensation. Equity made me and a lot of people I know financially independent. But only when we took it as part of a balanced package, not as a replacement for real compensation. Don't let companies transfer all the risk to you. Know what you're signing up for. And never, ever take a job where the only thing you're getting paid is hope.